Good morning. Welcome to church. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. I do appreciate it. You can get involved. You can go chat live on YouTube. Whatever questions or comments you have, I can respond to them this morning. Thank you for being with me, and thank you guys and ladies for coming. I got to explain the background here. This is not our normal church background. We, as you know, we had our Fatherhood and Men's Conference last Saturday, right? Last Saturday. And the engineer forgot, or I don't know why. Have Bill come and tell me why he didn't do the normal setup. We have a black engineer who, you know how black people are, they don't care. And he did not put up the whole thing and just figure it's fine. Black people are a mess, huh? And so that's why we have it there. It's the engineer's fault. It's not my fault. I just realized when we got ready to come out, my producer said, oh, we don't have the original church thing. So you have a night city light, even though it's morning. Anyway, that's what's going on. So y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm glad to see everybody. I went swimming yesterday. Why are you laughing, Jeremiah? You don't think I know how to swim?
I've seen you swim.
And your point is that a yes, I do know how to swim, or no?
You're learning.
I'm learning, yeah. And it was so nice. I kind of went late. I got in the pool at 2:30 p.m. And it was so much fun. And I was just swimming, and I was getting tired. You supposed to get tired when you swim? Like breathing really hard? Like you're about to drown? No.
When you are drowning?
And the people at the pool feel sorry for me. They're trying to help me. But it was so much fun. It was so nice. It was like so nice. Anybody here swim? Oh, 3 people. Right on. Anyway, I want to talk about the warfare that is happening within us. Have anyone ever noticed that the real warfare is with you and not with anybody else or anything else, but it's inside of you? Anybody ever notice that?
Yes,
Oh, okay. And no one else has ever noticed that, right? You have noticed that? What does it look like to notice that the war is with you and no one else?
Well, you can be in a certain situation and your thoughts will tell you negative things about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, it's not just your thoughts. If the situation is really serious, I know those thoughts bring on a feeling. And sometimes you don't really see the thoughts. You're just kind of feeling this sort of this despair. How am I going to get out of this? Or what are you going to do? Or
Yeah.
look at your situation. You're not going to make it out of it. And then when the thoughts are not there, I know that sometimes it'll cause me to become lazy and just instead of taking action on something, I will just become more lazy. And
Yeah.
it's a feeling. So it seemed like first there's the thoughts, and then there's the feelings. Even when you don't see the thoughts, the feelings are pulling you down.
Yeah.
And then, from coming here, I recognize, okay, this is the battle, my battle that I'm facing right now.
It's amazing to know that the warfare is with me, inside of me, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. It's like something can happen, the mind get busy, and you feel the conflict, you feel the whatever it is you're going through, and you want to blame someone else for the way you feel when they really have nothing to do with it, even if they try to have something to do with it. I'm counseling with a 59-year-old man who can't get away from his mother. He's living in a home and he's just stayed there all his life. And now it's a struggle for him to just leave. So he called me up this week for counseling. He was like boo-hooing, 59 years old. And he was like, Jesse, I need to talk to you. I've been drinking a lot. And I should have taken your advice 26 years ago, however long been, when you told me to leave my mother. And now he's stuck there. And he's having this battle. And I realized, as I told him, the battle is not with your mother anymore, it's with you now. Your mother she's done what she's going to do. And now the struggle is with you to overcome that. And he can no longer blame her for it. And so I asked, where's your mother now? He's like, she's downstairs with my sister. And I said to him, you could still get out of this situation. It's not too late, because he's 59, now he's feeling, helpless to the situation, because he believed that his mother still has control over him. And because he believes it, he is stuck there. He feels helpless now. Isn't that amazing? He cannot, in his mind, he doesn't know that the battle is with him. He still thinks that is with her, and it's not. And so I want you to know that this battle, when people call me names on the internet, they get called all kinds of names, all kind of nasty stuff. It's like Satan's children come out and they say some of the worst things on the net, but it doesn't move me at all, because I realize that's their battle. They're doing that because they're having conflict, and it has nothing to do with me, so that doesn't affect me at all. And they say things like coon, Uncle Tom. They curse you out on the net. Anybody ever been cursed out on the internet? Yeah. It's a major deal, huh? They use all kind of words. But I see that they are having a problem, and it has nothing to do with me. And I want you to know that this war that is happening is not with other people, it's with you. Even though other people try to bring it on, they want to hurt you, they call you names. But if you know yourself, it will not affect you at all. And I know so many people who are affected by what other people think about them. They're affected by words, what other people say. And they blame those people for the way that they feel. But they don't have anything to do with it. They really don't. It's on you, and it's up to you. It's like someone will call your name, and the devil will say, oh my God, you're no good. You're blah, 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 right? And the warfare is on. But if you learn to just allow yourself to go through it, then God will take over for you, the spirit within, and he'll fight it for you, but you got to be willing to relax and go through that. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. Because life is about not overreacting to things. Every time you overreact, you lose. And you have to, start again. But when you learn not to react, then you grow. And it doesn't have anything to do with the other person. Those people who are trying to hurt you, they are unhappy, so they need to get some life from somebody. They need to feel that, so they go after you to make you feel that way. Ernest, what is the warfare like within you? I saw your hand there.
I realized that the every single anger that I've had has been a result of thoughts. And that pretty much my whole life I've been misreading situations and mischaracterizing things based on the thoughts.
Yeah.
And so
the devil's voice. That's Satan's voice.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, it's freeing in the sense that you don't have to deal with, you're not blame other people for what, you're going through.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's interesting.
I was talking to a good friend, and I asked him, did he create thoughts? And he's like, yes, I create my own thoughts. And I asked, well, tell me how. Tell me how you create these thoughts. And he was not able to tell me. He tried to tell me, but he's like, wow, I don't know. But I know I do it. I just can't tell you how. And I said to him, if you are the creator of your own thought, you should be able to tell me how you create them. But he was not able to tell me. And a lot of people think that they are their thoughts. You know, God said, my children shall recognize my voice. And that voice in your head is the voice of your daddy, Satan. And that's why you keep obeying him. And he makes you believe that the warfare is with someone else and not with you. It's always with you. It's never with anyone else. It's never, ever, ever, ever with anyone else. Yes.
So I think that scripture that says, you've talked about this before, to bring every thought captive.
Yes.
That has such new, I don't know, meaning to me now.
Yeah.
And
In what way?
Just that every thought, I've heard you say it before, but every thought is a lie.
Bring
Literally.
every thought into captivity. Every one of them. The ones that seem good and the ones that seem bad. They're all from the pit of hell. Every one of them. Even what you're thinking right now. So I see that some people in their head right now. Even what you're thinking right now, you should not be lost in your head right now. This conversation should be going in one ear and out the other one, and you should be in the presence of God right now. But Satan is making you analyze what we're talking about. Think about what we're talking about. And you should not be thinking about it at all. Not one iota. And the beauty about this whole thing is that we are already free and don't know it. We really are a free people. We're like totally free, but because we don't know the relationship with the Father, we don't know that we're free. Isn't that amazing? And so you're doing like abnormal suffering, abnormal fear, abnormal, the whole deal. All right? So what I want to get to is faith, because most people don't have faith. And we need to talk about how to develop faith. All right? But let me go. Yes, sir.
Quick question. So, you know, if you're just going about your day, you're having a good day, and then all of a sudden you believe something in your head,
Right.
and you accept it as reality, and you start to get angry. So, can you explain how that works as far as is the anger already there? Is it, like the thoughts provoke anger, it seems like.
Right. You think, you feel, and you act out. Because if you didn't get into the thoughts, you would not have the feelings. You cannot get feelings unless you think about it.
So are the thoughts provoking the anger because it's already there? Or-
Yes.
Oh.
The thought, you think about it, but because you already have that spirit of anger, it brings it out. Because you can think about, Jesse made you do extra work. He's not paying extra money. And you'll get angry like, yeah, that's right. He's ripping me off. And now you're all mad at me. And then I'll call up and then you cuss me out. And I'm like, why are you cursing at me? But not realizing that your father, the devil, made you think of something, and that his nature is being fed with thoughts because it's keeping that anger alive, the spirit of anger. But when you don't have that, you're free at all times, no matter what the situation is. It's so weird. You're free at all times. Isn't that amazing? I really want you to notice, life is about seeking first the kingdom of God in his right way. It's not about anything else. It's about returning to the Father, because everything else would be added unto you. The Father will take care of you. It's not about how many friends you have or don't have, how much money you have, how educated you are. As a matter of fact, at some point, we're going to have to kill the intellect. The intelligent people with all this knowledge and stuff, whether it's knowledge of the Bible, knowledge of worldly learning, that's going to have to die. You can't go on. You're not going to know wisdom as long as knowledge is your thing. And this world has been pushing knowledge. Everybody got to get a college education. Everybody has to sound alike, walk alike, and look alike. Everybody's doing it and taking you further and further away from wisdom. We need wisdom. Knowledge is your enemy. The intellect is your enemy. It really is. I saw a hand somewhere. Yes, James.
Couple of questions from Sarah. Does bringing thought into captivity mean awareness?
Yes.
Okay. The next question. You say love your enemies. What is the best way to deal with an enemy if you must see them daily, like a neighbor or a work colleague?
What's the best way to see a coworker, right?
What's the best way to deal with them if you have to see them every day?
Oh, okay. Interesting. And you don't like them?
Correct.
Interesting question. Marilyn want to tell her what to do.
I have that question too.
Oh, you do?
Answer.
You have that question?
I can't answer.
You-
I can't answer the question because I have that question too.
About how
About
to do,
how to, about how to like somebody that you work with that you don't like.
right.
Like, how do you do it if you have to see them every day?
That's a good question. John want to respond to it. How many people have somebody in your life you just don't like? Oh. Yes.
Well, I think the best way to deal with it is when you see that person and you're dealing with that person, the thoughts that are telling you something negative about that person, you need to become aware that those thoughts are not coming from you. You didn't originate those thoughts. And then once you see that, they'll come up again. But you just kind of have to practice being aware of those thoughts about that person. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I had
thinking
that
something about
situation.
somebody now.
I had that situation in
With the phone.
in my job where thoughts would come in my head to judge a person, and I just realized that's not coming from me, and then that'll help out a
Yeah.
lot. Just be aware of what you're thinking about that person, and knowing what you're thinking, that's not you thinking that.
That's right. Absolutely. Margaret, you have somebody you don't like?
Well, I can't say, I mean, I don't like her attitude, you know. She
Because I saw you
has,
raise your hand. You don't like her attitude.
no.
Why not?
Well, when I come to work or something like that, I already know what I'm going to do without even thinking about it. And I have a direction where it needs to be taken. And because of my direction, and I know I'm doing it the right way, they cannot follow my path because their ego becomes hurt, and they
Their
come,
what?
And their ego is hurt.
Oh.
Oh, why should we follow you? Who are you to be the one to say do it this way? I'll say, well, if you want to do it that way, it's going to cause us to get over the clock. We won't get out of here on time. You have to get it this way. We have extra work to do. Okay, then you got to cut somewhere else
Are
in
you
order
the
to get
boss?
through.
Are you her boss?
I'm not the boss,
Oh.
but they do consider me the head because I approach it. You know?
And so you don't like her because she's that way?
Well, I just don't like her anger of me. You know, she starts to, throw things at me, and she just, I mean, not throw it physically, but I mean, she'll just start something, like want to argue. And I said, we don't have time to argue. I said, with all this time you're arguing, you're taking away from the job.
And so
Let's
you-
just get the job done.
And so
it's,
you don't
it's
like
no
her.
big deal.
And you don't like her because she's that way, right?
No, I don't, I mean.
Did you tell her you don't like her? Like, I don't
Well,
like
I
you?
just told her, I told her, hey, we could go have a piece of pie afterwards or whatever, but, and talk about this or whatever. I told her, I don't hate you or anything, but I really don't
But you
like
do
the
hate
way
her, you don't like
are.
her.
Well, I don't, it's like if you hate them, if you don't like them, let me put it this way, it's like you're going to have a problem anyway.
But you don't like her. You hate her.
No, I don't like her because her attitude really,
Okay.
But yet it's just on the job. I mean, I could go ahead, like I'm saying, I could go have a piece of pie and with her and get along or whatever. And talk to her, but she just won't listen.
All right. Do you have
No.
anybody you don't like? Yeah, you look like you don't like people.
I don't like anybody.
I know. And why not?
Why don't I like anybody?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's just the way it is.
You just don't like anybody.
I like people.
You like people?
Yeah.
Oh,
There
is
are
it?
people that I don't like, though.
And
yeah.
why not? What do you do when you don't like them but have to be around them?
Well, I think as John was saying, if the more I can stay out of my head, the better it is for me.
Yeah.
But I just try to be, if I'm at work, I just try to be as professional as I can. I speak up when I have to. But the more I'm in my head, the worse it is.
Yeah. So to Sarah, right, James? The first question should be, who am I not to like someone? You know, we have no right to judge anyone. And so if you're not liking someone, it's not them, it's you. Because you have made a judgment of them. And God doesn't judge you like that. And since you're supposed to be the Christian, the better one, you should show love toward that person, not emotional love. But you can't do that if you have this hatred for them. And that's what dislike me, that I'm judging you, and I don't like you because you're not like me. You're not doing it the way I say do it. You're not acting the way I want you to. And that's pride, and that's judgment. So that is happening so you can see yourself and overcome. That's why it's happening. So be grateful when that happens there, when you're around that person, and that is happening. That's what you need. God has allowed that to happen so that you can see what's going on within yourself, that war that's happening, warfare that's happening within you, so you can overcome. That's why it's there. That person is there for your need. You know what I mean? Yes? Everything, see, God is not going to give us any more than we can handle. And so He's giving you what you need with situations so that you can learn to overcome them by overcoming yourself. Yes?
But what if the situation is happening over and over? Like if you work with someone who's like over you,
Right.
and they constantly keep doing things like put you down, or so how can you overcome one thing if it seems like it's every week that they're doing something? So it's not in you, it's in that other person if they're doing something to you.
Yes, the other person is wrong for what they're doing, but you're wrong for judging them for it. And so it keeps happening and happening and happening until one day you don't judge, then you be done with it, and then it'll pass away.
How am I judging them?
By overreacting to them, being mad at or
But what if I'm not
disliking
being
them.
mad? Like what if I just go ahead and deal with it? Like if I make a plan to do something with my kids at school, and they're like, oh no, you can't do that.
Is this your boss?
Well, she's not my boss, but she's like the supervisor, but she's not the boss.
If you didn't overreact to her or have any kind of opinion about her, whether positive or negative, you can see how to deal with her. You're not seeing how to deal with it because you are thinking and feeling things about it. For example, I don't know if you feel this. Why does she do this every day? These are my kids. Why doesn't she stop? Blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have all that going on, you would see how to deal with her. And it's happening so you can see how to deal with it. And it will be so powerful because the love of God working through you can impact her life, but it will definitely impact yours for the good. It's what you need. And it's going to happen and happen and happen until you overcome it. And then once you overcome it, if she does it again, it will be like looking at a movie. It will have no impact on you at all. Then you can see what to do. What to say to her or what not to say or what to do. But you have to be willing to go through this. Are you willing to go through it?
It just seems like I'm always going through it, you know?
Are you willing to go through it?
I'm tired of going through it.
So you're not willing to.
Well,
Because
I mean,
you can't get tired of going through anything. Who are you that you shouldn't go through these things? Even if you have to go through it 1,000 times until you get it right, you have to relax and be willing to go through it. Because it's for your soul's salvation. And it's a way to get you back home to the Father. Because if this person doesn't do it on this job, whatever job you go to, it's going to happen again. You can't get past it until you overcome it.
So how do you overcome it?
By relaxing and allowing it to happen.
All right.
That makes sense?
Yes, makes sense.
But and when I say relax, Even if Satan is filling your mind about the situation and you're feeling the pain about the situation, relax in the pain. And let all that anger just come up, that frustration, whatever it is, right? Watch it. And just watch that battle happening within you, and you shall be free. It's not personal. This person is doing you a favor, and they don't know it. They might be unhappy and trying to hurt you and run you off the job, but they're doing you a favor because now you have the opportunity to learn to love. Meaning don't hate her. Love is just simply don't hate, don't resist, don't resent. You need this. I have a good friend who was going through some stuff with someone, and it's major what he's going through, but he's starting to come out of it now, and he's growing from it. And he's realizing that he needed this. This is what he needed to wake him up, to allow him to see, to allow him to grow as a son of God. We need these challenges. Christ had challenges. He wasn't just walking around tiptoeing through the tulips with no issues at all. And he has set it up where we can overcome all things. All things. There's nothing that's happening in your life, if you're a child of God or trying to return to the Father, that you cannot overcome. Nothing. But as long as you're judging, as long as you don't want to go through it, you're not going to grow. You got to go through the pain. No? You got to go through the pain. We've said this a lot of times now. You must go through the pain. No pain, no gain. And if you're like carrying on about the pain, that's not going to help. Do you think that Christ, when he had to go through something, let's say when he was a carpenter, right? Wasn't he a carpenter or something at one time? And he had to, his boss yelled at him. Do you think he said, oh, Lord, he's yelling at me. I'm trying to do my best. He didn't do that so that we'll be able to overcome it. Because he understood it's a spiritual battle. This person is evil, trying to hurt you. And if you resent the person, you shall be hurt. But if you understand they can't help it, the Spirit is driving them, then you'll do fine. That makes sense? You got to relax and go through it. When I walked in here and saw this sign, instead of the church thing up, Satan was like, cuss him out. Go get him. And I'm telling Jane, turn my mic off just in case I do curse him. They can't hear it online. But Satan gets busy just like that. At the moment anything happens, he starts talking. Have you noticed that? Yeah. The moment one of the iota of a thing happens, he starts talking to you, and you're like, yes, Daddy, you're right. I hate this person. This person's mean. I don't like this one. And you and your daddy have a relationship. The moment anything happens, you can be walking down the road, and someone drive by and just kind of look at you, and say, oh, they're thinking badly of you. And then you give them the finger. And you don't know what they were thinking of you. They could have been thinking, wow, that's a nice looking person. But Satan said, they didn't like your shoes on it. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop listening to the voice of your father, Satan. Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about that video, the last video you did with the girl with the relationship? I don't remember her name.
On the father state?
Yes.
Yes. The young lady that gave advice to men about relationships?
Yes.
Right, yes.
So my comment is, I thought she was like really putting down women's, like she just, I got so upset looking at it because it was like, it was like she wasn't saying anything positive about women's.
About women?
Yeah.
This woman wasn't saying anything positive about other women?
No, she wasn't.
Oh.
She was just like kind of putting us down, like making it sound like all of us are like that.
Oh, and you got upset? Mm-hmm. Did she mention your name?
No, she didn't. But I'm a woman, so it sounded like, I mean, it seemed like she was
you're
talking
not
about
every
all
woman,
of
are
us.
you?
No, but she didn't say some woman.
Remember that
She's like,
song, I'm Every Woman? It's all in me. That's not Whitney Houston. Shaka Khan made that song first. Yeah. But, so what'd you learn from that by getting upset?
nothing.
Okay, here's the lesson. She was not talking about you. She didn't say your name, and you're not every woman.
Well, maybe she should have said some women's, not
No,
all.
it needed to happen. Once again, that needed to happen because Satan said, look at this woman. She's talking about every woman, and that includes you. And you're like, yes, Daddy, you are right.
No,
I'm
I didn't thought
upset.
that.
But when
No.
you got upset, you were saying yes to your daddy.
No, I got upset because she's talking about how to be in a relationship, and then it's not. To me, it's like if you're going to talk about something, then you should be in that position.
Why?
You know, because how are you going to give advice on something that you're not even in? She's not married.
You don't have to be married to give advice on marriage.
Okay,
Do you disagree?
I disagree.
Jesus wasn't married.
But she's not Jesus.
She's his daughter.
Okay. You weren't even hard on her, like you were hard on everybody else. You were so easy with her.
Because she was telling the truth.
That was my favorite guest.
That was your favorite. But the
Yeah,
the lesson
see
in
why.
this, she wasn't talking about you, even if it sounded like, see, Lacha said, you don't have to, every time, you don't have to say not all, not all, not all, not all, but most, right? But if she didn't say that, you know you well enough to know she wasn't talking about you.
I
That's
know she
when-
was. I know she was not talking about me.
But you got upset
But
though.
she was talking about females, and she made it sound like they're the worst thing on this planet.
I don't even remember her saying all that. Huh? What did she
Well,
say
then go
about
back
female?
and look at the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back
Yeah.
and look because I see all kind of
Okay, you were
responses.
really nice to her.
What? Well, thank you. Because normally they say I'm not nice to women. What did she say that felt like that was wrong? One thing.
One thing. Okay, let me think about it. I'll come back to it.
Yeah, think of one thing she said that was wrong.
I'll come back to it.
Okay. I like that because it's wrong to identify with everybody. You're not everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so a person shouldn't have to say, not all, not all. Because common sense says there are exceptions to the rules in everything, right? And so they say all men, if someone said all men are weak, I'm not going to get upset, think she's talking about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, she used the B word. She said women are beads.
Right.
And that's not true. No, it's not. It's not true.
You say it is true? Where's
It's
the mic
not
for her?
true. Here.
I thought, where's Esteban with the mic? James, I thought Esteban had a mic too.
He did, and then he gave it up.
What a lazy Mexican. Lord have mercy.
Well, I'm saying it is.
You said all women are bees?
Yes.
Why you say that? Does that include you?
Yeah.
Eh,
And it's
I'm
not.
glad you recognize that.
And again, it's not. It's just like the reaction. You know, if you're not reacting, then you're not a bee. But when you react, and women, they say, oh, they think they're so nice. But you say the wrong thing, and you will see it just jumps out. And I'm not under their conscious control at all.
so what do you say about this young lady saying that all women are like that?
That's not true, Mary.
Do you know a woman who is not like that?
Me?
Oh, I was hoping you saying you.
So if she's saying it's her, then why is she reacting so with
Right,
these
so
people
since
at
you know
work?
it's not you and you're not like that, why does it bother you that this woman said it?
I guess it bothered me because you were so nice to her. You didn't give her a hard time like you give everybody else a hard time that you interview.
I give all other men and women a hard time except for this one.
This one you didn't. You didn't ask her, do you have anger You didn't ask her that? You asked
But I
almost
can't.
everybody
I
that?
have to go with this flow. I can't. I can't do the same thing every time with everybody. But so but you're not like that. Have you ever been that way? A bee?
When I had to defend myself, yeah.
So you were like that.
Yes.
And so if you have to defend yourself now, will that come out?
No.
Oh, it's not
I mean,
there
if
anymore.
if someone trying to hurt me, if someone hit me,
Yeah.
or something like that, then I have to be like that. But I'm
You
not.
will have to be that way.
I have to be that way
So
to
if
defend
someone
myself.
hit you, tried to hurt you, then the bee will come out.
Well, it's not the bee. I wouldn't say the bee will come out. I would say the other person or the person who needs to defend themselves will come out.
Oh.
And that's not being a bee
But
because
the other
you're.
person shouldn't even be there. It should only be one person there.
Well, I mean, not the other person, but
The
if you
other
get
identity.
upset, if someone gets you upset, that doesn't mean that you're being a bee because you're upset. It just means that you're defending yourself.
But you can defend yourself without being upset. As a matter of fact, you have more authority when you defend yourself without being upset. When you are upset and defend yourself, you're losing.
So if someone hits you, you're not supposed to get upset.
Right. You're supposed to stay still and knock them cold. Otherwise, you get upset, you're going to lose sight, and they'll knock you cold. Because you lose. You know how you get mad? Like your mama used to say, girl, you making me, you better go sit down. I'm so mad, I'm blind right now. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what anger does. And then you lose. Karate people would teach you, don't get upset, stay calm, so you can get rid of your opponent. Is that right? Yeah, they teach you not to get upset. And God doesn't want you to be upset, because if you're not upset, you can see how to overcome your enemy. Otherwise, your enemy will overtake you. But I'll take a look at the video and see how nice I was. Anybody else saw the video yet? Have seen it? Oh, was I nice?
I think you're always nice.
Oh, thank
As
you.
far as being right, right with your point.
How did I
think
treat
nice-
that lady for
okay,
the interview?
So this is what I see from this. If you, all women are bitches, and if it, there's a saying in Finnish that
Jane, look
if
around, oh, God.
it's the dog that barks, that was hit. So if that's what it brings out of you, then you are it, and that part still has not died. Your ego has to suffer through that and die.
Right. I was
that's-
happy to see a woman telling the absolute truth about situations. You don't normally see that. She was telling the truth. You know what I mean? No. You don't? Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it again, all right? Because I don't remember. So what did you think about it? Take the mic for me.
I don't think she gave you a reason to engage her. She was, like you said, she was straightforward.
Right.
And it wasn't like other guests that start spinning around questions and you gotta go
Right.
after them. So
Yeah, she was answering the questions, and you notice that, Marilyn? She answered the questions.
Yeah.
Right. If someone is answering the question, I don't need to be hard on them. Only the people who try to skirt around the questions.
Now, am I judging her for, like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
am I judging her? I know I shouldn't judge, but, okay, so the outfit she had on with the
Oh,
low
Lord.
cleavage. The dress she had on, I mean, the dress was above her knee and low-cut dress. And,
Right.
I mean, and she's talking about conservative. So that was my other thing. It's like, you're talking about man's like conservative woman, and here you are,
Oh, you didn't like the dress?
Nope.
The guys love the dress.
I'm pretty sure they did.
What's your question about the dress?
No, I'm just saying, okay, so what is conservative? What does conservative mean? She said man's like conservative woman, so
Men like conservative women.
that's what she said.
They do.
Do you think she was being conservative?
I don't know. That's a good question, too. I didn't pay a lot of attention. I do remember the guys being all happy about the dress. The workers.
Pretty sure they were.
They were all happy. Yes.
I was going to say about that dress too, because that was one thing that stood out for me too. But then what I did is, this is my issue. This is the part of me that has to die. I noticed it, and I'm like, that's interesting.
What was wrong with the dress?
Nothing wrong. It was just
It was
very
not conservative enough or something.
cleavage was showing it
Oh.
nicely, you know. She's a pretty lady.
Maybe,
But,
maybe that's why I wasn't hard on her.
Exactly, but that,
She had on the right kind of dress.
but see what I did.
I may have been hypnotized.
But when I noticed that, I went
Oh, God.
inside and I said, okay, this is my issue. It's not what she's wearing. It's why did I notice that versus something else.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you didn't get mad about the dress?
No, I
Oh.
just was a little surprised. But like I said, then I realized it was my problem, not hers.
Oh, okay.
You understand
That's a
what I'm
good point. So maybe I was hypnotized. I'm sitting there like, okay, go ahead. You're right. And I'm thinking, what a nice dress. Yes, Mary. Yes.
Now, you hear Marilyn talking about the woman's dress?
Yeah.
Did you see the dress Marilyn had on last week? It was way above the knee, had all kind of holes in it. And just, you know,
Ooh.
so I was like, oh, that was not a conservative dress. Okay.
If you were covered up, how did she see it?
Because she was looking to see.
No, I wasn't. It was open. It was like, you know,
Oh, God.
really short. It had little
Now-
holes all around. I'm like, oh.
Now you got me wanting to watch the show again. I'm about to go back and watch that one. James, you saw it, right? No, I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it? You will not, huh? Do you have another question online there? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Marilyn is talking about the fallenstate.tv. I have a TV show, so check it out. Go ahead.
Couple of questions. One is from Audrey. She asks, can I call myself a Christian for just simply believing in God, or do I have to fully read and know the Bible?
You must be born again. You must be born again in order to be a Christian. Now, there are a lot of Christians who are Christians in namesake. I was thinking the other morning, I talked about this on the radio show. It is such a blessing to be a Christian. It really is. It is remarkable to me that God thought enough not to leave us behind, but to bring us in. And He allowed us to become Christians. And I remember growing up when Christians were proud of being Christians. You know, you had to repent, you had to live upright. Yeah, and Dr. Martin Luther King said, you have to treat people the way you would like to be treated. Don't hate, overcome it with good, overcome evil with good. It was an honor to be a Christian. Nowadays, a whole lot of folks are embarrassed to even say that they're a Christian. They would say, well, I don't talk about my religion. I don't say if I'm a Christian or not. How can you be a Christian and not say it and not live it? And I know Christians are under attack. They are on every side. We're being attacked. But the reason that we're being attacked because we are children of God. And that's an honor that they would attack you because you are a Christian. We are blessed that we could be Christians. It's not a negative, it's a positive. And those who hate it because they hate Christ, so they hate Christ's brothers and sisters. It's not personal. It's an honor to be a Christian. Especially when you are born again, you return to the Father, and you see that He's guiding you, there's nothing like it. Really. So don't be ashamed of being Christians. All right. So yes to the question.
All right, and then Julian asks, how do you seek God and become born again?
You have to pray. Stillness and withdraw from the world is the way to find God. You go into your closet, you be still and know Him. And then you start to withdraw from human beings. your passions and things like that. Because as long as you're addicted to your passions, you're never going to know Christ because you're not making that sacrifice. And you have to become dispassionate so that you can have the relationship with Him and not with the world. So you do it by recognizing that you're not born again of God, and you go and be still and know Him. Pray, and then have those days when you are all alone by yourself. No TV, no radio, no telephone, no friends. So that you can die from the world and wake up to life. But you got to commit to seeking first the kingdom of God and His right way, and all things will be added. But as long as you are a passionate person and you're involved with looking for love and trying to be loved and into all this mess, you will never know God. You can even pretend like you're seeking Him, and you're not going to find Him because you're still addicted to the world. You got to overcome your passions. And that happens through stillness. You got to be still and know Him. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, God can do what He wants, of course, but you got to learn to be still and know Him. Instead of racing around in your head or racing around with the material world, trying to find something. It's not going to happen. And Satan to have you telling yourself, oh, you're seeking God. You know the right words, but you would never know Him until you could overcome the world. Really. And that's the truth. Yes, James?
Audrey asks, do you do baptisms?
Yes, I do. I do. I want to talk about faith. How many have faith? Okay. 3 people and 1 maybe. And Mary, you held up both hands. You have faith?
Yes, I believe I have faith.
You're not sure?
No, because you didn't tell me what it was yet.
I didn't tell you what it was yet. So do you have faith?
I do.
And how did you develop faith?
Well, I developed faith by going through all the things that I need to go through and then being able to come through it.
Can you have faith and still be a B word?
I would say yes, because that's my nature.
So you think God gonna let your little B word come in there with Him into the kingdom of heaven?
No, but that's my nature, so we're overcoming that nature.
Define faith for me. Maybe I don't understand what you mean.
I think for me, faith is just getting up every morning and knowing that I'll be taken care of because God is my Father.
So do you really believe you have faith, or are you just saying this?
Well, I really believe I have faith,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Because, I mean, things can go wrong and you can crash in and cave in and do all the wrong things about that, or you can just see it and go on and face it. And I just think that's part of having the faith.
Okay. You have faith, Marcus? In God, faith in God. Do you have faith?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And what does that mean? Faith is so important because without faith, you can't even please God. You gotta have faith. It's the beginning.
I think I'm starting to have faith
And why do you think you're starting to have it?
because, I'm really I'm going through the process of just relaxing into the pain of knowing that I'm such a egotistical and judgmental person. And so, I'm starting to find some comfort in knowing and watching it without being upset, judgmental of myself. And so what's happening is that I'm also I'm also starting to see more clearly, like, what my path is or like what I need to do. I'm not running around trying to make things happen. And I'm thinking that's got something to do
With faith.
with having confidence that in my Father, that everything's going to be okay, that everything's going to be, He's going to things are going to be taken care of. Because I'm starting to walk on this, see this path, and I'm still, as I'm going on this path, I get the negative, thoughts in my head and stuff like that. But at least I'm starting to realize that that's just not, it's not me, and it's, that's just my ego and my pride and all that, and anger.
Martha,
And
do
I'm
you
starting
have
to-
faith? Because of time, do you have faith?
No, I don't think I do. Not
Take the mic there. He's giving you the mic.
No, I don't think I have true faith. Let me
And
put it that
why is
way.
that you don't think you
Because if
do?
you really had faith, I think you'd be saved.
You'd be what?
Saved.
Saved?
Born
What do you
again.
mean?
Born again, saved. That's
And
how
you're
I
not
look at
born
it.
again?
No, I think if I was born again, I wouldn't have problems with my coworkers at work.
Oh, you caught on, huh?
So, I mean, it's like I don't always have problems, but it was just a fresh one this week, so.
Right, okay. John, you have faith?
No, I don't believe I have faith because sometimes I believe in what my thoughts are telling me, and then I notice when that pain comes. I know I heard you say like relax in it, don't react, but it seemed like that pain, it overtakes me, and that's one of the reasons I would say I don't have faith.
Oh, okay. And so when it overtakes you, do you react to it, or it just feel overwhelming?
I talked about it a little bit earlier how I think I do relax in it, but not react to it. I mean, I can feel it coming, and I'll start watching a movie or something, and then after that, I can feel like that pain or that laziness wants me not to do nothing. Then I watch another movie, and then I just kind of like fall into it. So in the opposite way, I guess you have been telling us how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I would say,
But when that overwhelming feeling is there because you believed into a lie, so it's going to feel overwhelming, like you can't handle it. Like it's going to kill you, right? Just relax in it, don't overreact, and it will die. Because what happened, the light of God is shining on the darkness, that spirit, and that spirit will die because it is a live spirit that's made a home in you, and it doesn't want to die, so it wants you to overreact. It wants you to do something crazy or get upset about it. But just relax in it, and it's going to feel like you're dying. But it's not you, it's the thing that's made a home in you, and it will die, then you can live. We have once to die and once to live. So when that thing dies, then you can start living. So if it gets too much where you can't bear it, you can ask Jesus to help you through it.
okay.
Just say, Jesus, help me through this, and he'll help you because he's there to help you. So there's nothing wrong with asking him to help you if it feels overwhelming, but you got to go through the death. You must die in order to be born again.
Okay. Thanks.
So just take it.
All right.
Just take it, folks. It's not you. It's just in your body feeling like you. It's a spirit that's made a home in you.
Okay.
So just let it feel overwhelming.
All right.
I remember I've talked about this before. I lived in Oregon for a while doing a radio show, and there was moments, I wasn't as mature as I am about it now, and there were situations where the Satan would make me believe stuff, and the pain would be so overwhelming that I would just go home from work and just fall out on the couch and just let it be and just take it. And I would just say, you know what, God, if this is what you want to have it, just have to have it. I can't do anything about this. And it would just be overwhelming. But then after a while, it was gone. So you gotta let it be, and he'll take over. Anybody ever felt that way? It's just so much pain, you just don't know what to do. You felt that, James?
I might have felt that one time.
Yeah, of course. But you have to let it die. Who have faith? I forgot who else had. You have faith and you have it. How do you develop faith for those that don't have it?
There's been times where I've called upon God, and He has got me through or offered a solution. But overall, it's just I trust the way. You know, I kind of can tell which path leads to what, and I have faith in the path that I'm doing my best to stay on, that will lead to a good place. You know.
Okay. You don't have faith,
No,
and why not?
because I put my faith in the world.
So because of time, there's two kinds of faith. One where the Bible says faith come by hearing. You ever read that in the Bible? Faith come by hearing. So by us having a conversation right now, it's developing faith. It really is. And then once that faith is developed, you know, while you're seeking God, you're getting to know yourself because you heard that this is the right thing to do. Faith come by hearing, or you read the Bible or something. Faith come by hearing. And so if you're truly seeking the Father, because you heard that and convinced you, after a while along the path, you're going to be born into real faith, born again. And that faith is connected to the Father, and then you can live your life without even thinking about it. You become a son or daughter. He will bring you in because you will repent, and then you live with the Father, being guided by the Father, and there's never any doubt, never any overreaction, never any anger, never any of that stuff. And then you start to see that the world, without your effort, doesn't mean that much to you anymore. You can take it or leave it. Things don't mean that much to you. You can take it or leave it because your relationship now is in the Father and not in the world. You will die from it, but you got to seek first the kingdom of God and His right way. Then all things will be added. You got to seek Him. You can't, and Satan will have you, Satan will have you pretending that you're seeking Him. He really will. He will have you playing a game. You know, I say you need to pray. You get up and you pray for a few minutes, and then you go back into the world unconscious. And you say, well, you pray, you did what you're supposed to do. That's not how it works. You got to practice being aware. In all things, practice being aware. Pray and practice being aware. Don't go out and just be lost in your imagination. Bring every thought into captivity. Margaret, I'll give you the last word. I saw your hand there.
No, I was just thinking.
Hold on for the mic. Okay.
I was just going to say, you know, faith, I mean, a lot of things have fallen away, but I don't have faith.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of things are not there anymore. They're gone.
Well,
You know,
let me just say this. That's not a sign of being born again. Because Satan is busy too, right? And Satan should tell you, Jesse said, don't overreact. And so you not overreact. And then Satan say, okay, you got it. Look how that's not important to you. You want to wake up. Salvation is about waking up. It's about, I once was blind, but now I see. That's what you want. And once you can see, then things will start to fall away. And I say that because the devil is very, very clever in that he will act like God, and he will have you thinking that you're falling away from things so everything is fine. Or he'll have you quoting the scriptures or this is why you got to get to know yourself, and you see that warfare with the devil and with God. You know, good and evil. So that's not a sign.
I look at you and I say, okay, Jesse's born again, saved, or whatever. But I look like, well, it happened to you all at once. You know, like you said, you woke up and you just didn't feel that anymore.
At the twinkling of an eye.
And I'm waiting for the penny to drop as well. You
Right,
know.
and it will.
And, I mean, how does one know? I mean, I really don't understand that part. I mean, because it haven't happened yet, so.
Right. When it happened, you will know it. But you got to keep the eye on yourself.
Right.
and don't be mean and don't be controlling. Don't, you start to see those things about yourself. And as you're seeing them, things are changing. And then
Okay.
one day, it'll happen. But at God's will and not your will. All right? And so, but don't compare yourself to me or anyone. Just because it happened for me like that, don't have a mindset for that. Have no mindset at all, but just seek first the kingdom of God in his right way, and it will be added. All right? But you got to be serious. Most people are not serious about seeking God. They pretend to be. Because if you were serious, you wouldn't overreact with the person at work or the bum down the road. You would know not to do that. All right? But I encourage you to seek first the kingdom of God, learn to be still, and withdraw yourself from the world at times. Be alone and feel the pain of being alone. Feel the pain of being nothing and nobody, and so that you can die. All right? People do not want to feel alone. But you got to feel the pain of dying. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. I have a prayer online called Silent Prayer. I encourage you to download that by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. I urge you, folks, if you're serious about this, you got to get serious and just pray, have that time in prayer, and then just kind of stay still by practicing being still, and at time get away from the world. Stop looking for love. Stop hanging out with your friends. Not all the time, just balance it. All right? And you'll start to see the change in your life. Thank you for tuning in. We need your financial support, your tithes and offerings. You can do it by calling 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663, or go online, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Check out the radio show. If you have more questions about what you heard today or anything, you can call me on the show, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. And thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Uh-huh.